Pending rule changes. You will have got a bunch of emails on this, and we wanted to do an update to clarify a bunch of questions people have had. So thanks to all the agents who've reached out with their questions, concerns, etc. If you've been in the industry more than, I think it was 12 years, maybe 15 years, we've literally done full cycle and gone back to how it used to be, kind of in the early 2000s, mid 2000s. So the rule change is effective January 1st, 2022, and that change is making it that if you have a pending deal on a property, it's marked as pending. And this is driven by what consumers want at the end of the day, and largely what membership in the various associations wants is to know if there's an offer on the property. I don't know how many of you have found it a bit odd, and we had to figure out all the wording you had to use to ask the right question before and whatnot. It was just a bit confusing. So plain and simple is if a property is pending, you have a pending offer, conditional sale offer on it, then it has to be marked pending. Now the best part of this, and if anyone has been aware of this, let me know, you'll get a gold star. But as of November 23rd, so it's already in place, you as the associate, as long as you have broker load status with Ray, you can change statuses on MLS yourself. So you can go between active and pending. You can't report a sold, that has to be done by the office, but active and pending, pending to active, you can do yourself. So keep that in mind. That's available as of right now. And right now, it's still the seller directing if they want to mark the property pending or continue advertising or not. So some of the common questions we have had is how this is going to kind of operate and work. So it's in all the updates from Area as well as Ray that if it's marked pending, it will continue to be advertised on realtor.ca, on remax.ca, on IDX websites, the office website, on your new Bouge website. It'll everywhere online, it'll still be available. But while it's pending, the days on market clock continues to tick. So days on market continue to grow because of the fact that it's still available. It's advertised for sale. It's just advertised in such a way that it's marked pending on the MLS system. So again, this goes back to what we kind of used to do in the early 2000s when a client would ask you, is it available? They'd see it advertised and whatnot, but what the advantage now is working with a realtor. So one of these pros of this dynamic is that if they've called on multiple properties and you get a consumer off of realtor.ca or remax.ca, and they get frustrated that they call and ask if the property is available and you say no, actually it's pending, and they get, why does this always happen to me? Well, actually, one of the advantages of working with the realtor is that we have access to our internal MLS system that gives us status updates as it happens. And so use that verbiage, use that angle with working with clients. Now, let's talk about some of the opportunities and the pros and cons. So the biggest opportunity, I would say, is in that working with a realtor. The second is your ability to basically negotiate with clients and like structure deals. So we got clarification from Ray that you're permitted and allowed to put seller authorized remarks into the private remarks or even the public remarks. So we recommend you get something in writing, but you can say sale pending, sales buyer's home, seller open to other interest, 48-hour clause. You can put that right in the private or even the public remarks, as long as it's not disclosing something you shouldn't and it's with permission of your client. So being the seller in that case that you're updating on MLS. So that's a really, really great opportunity to still get other interest and whatnot. Now, the other thing is pending status deals will still show on MLS.ca, etc., right? On realtor.ca, etc. But internally, realtors probably aren't going to be searching for pending deals. So that can be a great opportunity for you, for your buyer clients, is to actually search for pending deals status and be the one to call those agents and ask for how firm the deal looks and put a backup offer in. That's going to be a real opportunity for probably 6 months to a year is my guess. Now, the other one is if the seller does not want to have showings during the time that it's pending, you have to get that in writing. And Area will be putting out a standard form by end of the month here that we'll use for that. So the office will require that form if you're not showing a copy of that form, and you'll need it for your files if they're choosing not to show the property. So if you're a buyer, repping a buyer, and you want to show a property and the listing agent's telling you it's not possible because it's pending, and you feel like maybe they haven't, they're not getting directed by their seller for that, they're just choosing that themselves, let us know. You can reach out to anyone on the leadership team. We'll reach out to their broker, or feel free to call their broker direct and say, I have concerns. Just wanted to confirm. If you can confirm this is documented in your brokerage files. And as always, let us know if there's anything that is an issue with that. Now, what are the other strategies you can use right now? So we talked about when you rep a seller, you can add comments in the private or public remarks. Some other options you can do is staggered conditions. So this is actually very common in commercial, and especially with properties or deals where there's like longer condition periods. But if you're have a listing that's brand new to market, you think it's getting a lot of interest, there's a bunch of showings, and you get like a bully offer on it, but they have 3-week conditions, are you going to accept that offer? I wouldn't think so. I think you'd negotiate accordingly. But you might negotiate to say, well, let's get you to do your inspection in 3 days, and then if that looks good, we'll give you 10 days for financing, or we'll give you a week for financing with the option to extend. You know, having those staggered dates so that the buyer is like taking action, having to remove a condition, because if they don't remove that condition, it now goes back active on the system, right? So think about using staggered conditions, think about using the private remarks or even the public remarks, and think about how you negotiate deals and structure deals. So you build that confidence into both sides of the transaction, that if they are going to go pending, that it's going to have a higher likelihood of going through. Now, sale of buyer's home and the 48-hour clause stuff, again, in this market, it's going to be real tough to get those offers accepted because especially now that it'll be marked pending and not actively showing up in Paragon searches for clients. But negotiate accordingly, right? If you're repping that buyer, do your best you can to try to structure the deal accordingly. Have other conditions maybe removed first. Sell the buyer on why they can do that to show good faith. That hopefully will still have the seller accept it. But be aware of the risks that go with it. And if you're repping the seller, we really don't recommend sale of buyer's home condition right now, especially in this market, unless it's a real challenge listing that you're not getting a lot of interest on, and that's your best option is that offer, then take it, right? And then the last thing I wanted to talk about, it's escaping me right now, and is related to pending. Oh, and Paragon Searches. If I didn't cover that earlier in the video, Paragon Searches, when it goes from pending to active, it'll re-trigger in their search and be sent to them. So you don't have to do anything special like price reduce it at the same time or anything like that to trigger it. Just make sure that when it marks back to active, know that it will be re-triggered and sent back out to anyone in the Paragon system whose search matches that property. So as always, thanks for all your feedback and questions, and let us know if you have any other ones that come up or situations come up. That's what we're here for. Talk soon.